Patricia Narayan, born into a conservative family from Nagarkoil, Tamil Nadu, she had a good childhood. After a marriage of her own choice that turned into a hell, she was on her own at the age of 18. She had lost absolutely everything at that young age and had to reinvent herself from scratch. It was a question of survival for her family. She realized that she could use her cooking skills to support herself and her kids, and decided to fight her own battle. With some borrowed money from her mother, she made squashes, jams and pickles and sold them to her colleagues. Gaining confidence, she decided to take up a kiosk at one of Chennai's busiest public spots, the Marina Beach. She started making and selling cutlets, samosas, bhajis, fresh juice, coffee and tea, food items that people would like when strolling by the beach. Seeing her dedication and the quality of the food she made, she received orders to serve food to banks and schools, which was another turning point in her life. This stabilized her, but in 2004, tragedy struck and Patricia lost her dear ones in an accident. Named after her late daughter, Sandeepa, she started restaurants in Chennai, starting the business with just 2 people and a revenue of 50 paisa per day. Now, there are 200 people working in her chain of restaurants with a revenue of more than rupees 2 lakhs a day. A woman of substance, grit, courage, dedication and hard work. She pursues her goals with a vigor and never gives up on her values and virtues. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the director of Sandeepa Chain of Restaurants, Mrs. Patricia Narayan, to VBA Business Summit and Awards 2020.
Good evening, VBNs. All of you are good. I know, excited ആയിട്ടാണ് ഇരിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് എനിക്കറിയാം. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹമായിട്ട് ഞാൻ സംസാരിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഏറ്റവും മുമ്പിലിരിക്കുന്ന ധോണി, MS ധോണി, മിസ്റ്റർ കൂൾ, നൗഷാദ്, ഇത്രയും വലിയൊരു ഫംഗ്ഷൻ നടന്നിട്ട് ഒരു ടെൻഷനില്ലാണ്ട് ഒരു മനുഷ്യൻ നടക്കുന്നു നോക്കി. And I think that's what leadership is all about. Ma'am, this is Vijay Bhava alumni. We've got around 500 odd members here and almost all of them are here.
Good evening, everybody. I'm very humbled and honored to be amongst you today. And thank you, Shamim.
നിങ്ങൾ എന്താ ഊര്?
Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. I know many of them will not understand Tamil, so we'll switch to English.
Okay.
We saw a small presentation about you. Where did you study and how was your beginning? Let us present to them.
Right. To tell about myself, I belong to a very conservative family. I was the firstborn, very pampered girl child. To be very elaborate, I had all the luxuries in life and I was the apple of the eye for my parents. So that's my very young age.
There was a turning point when you got married, right?
Till I was in the college, everything was very fine, very happy-go-lucky, had all luxuries in life. But then my age 17 was very bad. Maybe 8 number was bad for me, I don't know. I fell in love, got married, and my marriage was a total disaster.
Oh, it's a disaster. What did you do after that?
I was totally cut off from my family because mine was a civil marriage. Both the families did not accept us. So, and I knew that my husband was not going to support me and I was all alone to fight in this world. It was a do or die situation for me. Either I had to succumb or I'll have to live my life. By then, I was already pregnant with my son, so I was forced to take up my life and live it. And one thing I had was I did not want to become a failure. So I had not completed my graduation, and the one thing I know was cooking. So I took up to that to make my bread and butter. So that is how I started my catering.
Catering. So what was the first venture you did?
First, I started with a little bit of pickles, jams, and squashes at home. And since it was not a commercial establishment, my products were good, but I was not able to produce for the demands of people. So then I had to look into other avenues. So the first thing I thought was, let me do something and sell it somewhere where the public would be.
Where was that?
That was in the marina.
You mean to say Marina Beach?
Yeah, the Marina Beach.
I can imagine a woman going to Marina Beach to sell something. எப்படி இருந்தது?
It was about 40 years back.
40 years back.
It was very tough. And I did not know anything. I was only focused on what I wanted to do. So I always had a barrier around me and I was working towards that. But then it was not very easy. It was very tough to get a permission in the government lawns.
You sold it in a cart. What is it?
No, it was not a cart. It was a kiosk.
It's a kiosk. So you need a permission there.
We needed a permission.
Did
Yeah.
they give you the permission?
It took about 1 year for me to get the permission.
കേരളത്തിലെ പോലെ തന്നെയാണ് തമിഴ്നാട്. 1 year. Okay. Then.
The first day when I took my kiosk and put it up there, like I felt very great. I thought I owned a 5-star hotel. It was very nice. But sadly, I sold only 1 cup of coffee. That was 50 paisa those days.
The first sale
1981.
was 50 paise.
50
Okay,
paise.
good.
So, like anybody else, I was also all broken. But then I started on a Friday. So the next day, my mother coaxed me and she said, "You can do." And I went with her blessings. Then there was no turning back.
It went on.
It went on very well.
And did you diversify from that?
Pardon?
Did you diversify from that?
Yeah, after that, because this was only in the evenings. So that's where I learned my time management. Like evening I was here, and mornings I took up catering in state government office. So morning 9 to 5 I would be there, and then from 6 to 11 I would be in the beach. So I was gradually climbing the success ladder slowly.
You got into catering business at that time.
After this, like I knew I was capable of doing much more things because I was very passionate about what I was doing. So I was wanting to take up bigger catering contracts, and I did for a few colleges.
What was your first assignment?
My breakthrough was actually National Institute of Port Management. But when I went there, the chairman looked at me and he said, "This is not a housewife's job."
This is not a housewife's job. ഒരു വീട്ടമ്മ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ജോലിയല്ല catering. Okay.
So that hurt me a lot. Like I said, okay, but I was very convinced and I knew that they're going to come back to me. And as I thought, they came back to me in 3 months. The so-called male caterer was not able to perform. I mean, this I will say very proudly.
So you got the opportunity again.
I got an opportunity.
Did you excel in that?
Yeah, of course. I went back. First, they put me on a trial for 1 month. But then continuously I was there for almost 9 to 10 years and I quit there. Like they didn't want me to go. I left the place. So I was there almost catering to about 2,000 people in a day.
അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ആദ്യം റിജക്ട് ചെയ്തവർ തന്നെ ആ കോൺട്രാക്ട് തിരിച്ചു കൊടുത്തു 9 വർഷത്തോളം ആ കേറ്ററിംഗ് അദ്ദേഹം നടത്തുകയുണ്ടായി. Excellent. So life is smooth and going on good, right?
Life was wonderful. Like my personal side was really bad, but I was fully focusing on my work, and I became more of a workaholic because I didn't want to concentrate on my personal front. But my children, I had 2 children, 1 son and a daughter. They were the apple of my eye. So I was working very hard to give them the best. And my son started, he finished Merchant Navy course and he started sailing. And my daughter also finished her graduation. I got my son married in 2002.
Married?
My son.
Okay.
And in 2000, I mean, life was excellent. I was very happy. I thought I was the most blessed one. And in 2004, like I was given such a big blow that I fell on my face. That is, in 2004, I lost my daughter in a road accident, just 30 days after her marriage.
You lost your daughter?
Yeah, both daughter and son-in-law.
In a car accident?
In a car accident.
What happened?
They were coming back from Dindikal and they were almost reaching Chennai. She called me. It was around 5:45 or so. She called me and she said in about 1 hour she would be back home. And in about 15-20 minutes, I got a call saying that the car met with an accident and none of them are alive. Yeah, it took about 2 hours for me to go from Chennai to that place, Chengalpet. I went there. And when I went there, none of the hospital people did not know about the accident and they said we had no calls. But after I was there for about half an hour, I saw ambassador car coming in and they said some accident victims are there. I thought I had little bit of hopes that nothing serious has happened. But then I was very shocked to see that they carried the children in the dicky of the car there.
I don't know how many of you understood it. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മകളുടെ ഹസ്ബൻഡും ആക്സിഡൻറ്റിൽ മരിച്ച് അവിടെ ചെല്ലുന്ന കാഴ്ച അംബാസഡർ കാറിൻ്റെ ഡിക്കിയിലിട്ടാണ് ആ ബോഡി കൊണ്ടുവന്നതെന്ന്. I can understand. எனக்கு புரியும் அந்த ஃபீலிங்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்குன்னா. How did you manage it?
At that moment, I was frozen. The pain that I lost my daughter, much more than that was when they were pulling out the bodies from the dicky of the car. Like, that night, till today, I've never come out of that horrendous night. I mean, till today, no ice, no heat, no balm can soothe me or get me out of it.
It haunted you.
It still haunts me. It still haunts me. And one thing that something told me is no parent should see such a sight in their lives. So I've never.
Was it because there was no ambulance available there?
Pardon?
Was it because there was no ambulance available there?
Yeah, the ambulance denied to carry dead people. I mean, it was very new to me. The ambulance did not carry, the ambulance came there and they denied to carry the dead people.
മരിച്ചവരെ കൊണ്ടുപോകില്ല ആംബുലൻസിൽ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതുകൊണ്ട് കാറിൻ്റെ ഡിക്കിയിലിട്ടാണ് ബോഡി കൊണ്ടുവന്നത്. So that was a big blow for you.
It was.
Did you do something about that?
Yeah, like I lost my daughter, I told you on May 31st, that's exactly 30 days after her marriage. And my daughter's birthday was on November 29th, that was 6 months later. So my only thing was, I wanted to station an ambulance at that very spot, which would cater to both people who are hurt and alive, or even if they are dead. And I did it.
You donated an ambulance
Yeah,
there.
yeah. I donated, and I have an ambulance station in that particular place till today.
How many people you would have served?
Around 3,000 plus.
Including the dead bodies. 3000-ഓളം പേരെ അവർ സഹായിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. How many years now?
16 years.
60. It is, you changed the vehicle
Yeah,
properly.
I've changed the ambulance.
Fire. That's fire. But go back to business or you're
At that time, like, my son had come back. He was sailing. He was with me for the marriage for his sister, but he did not go back. He stayed back with me. He quit his job. He tried, like, I was not able to concentrate on anything else. My only focus was this ambulance, which I did in 6 months. And after that, I was not able to do anything at all. And it was like we lost everything. And my son was trying to start from scratch, and he had no experience, because I always kept the children away from the business what I was doing. Like, mine is a 24/7 job. So I thought, let them not get into it. But then we decide something and God decides something. So he was full-fledged into it, but we were starting from scratch, and he was really struggling, heavy losses. And I was helplessly watching him. Like, about 6-7 years, I was not able to do anything. And
How many years you were like that? How many years are at home then?
I was at home, like,
Was at home for how many years?
2004 to 2010, about 6 years.
6 years. You didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. Everything was just falling under my feet. It was crumbling. My son was struggling. I was not able to do anything. I was helplessly watching him, but I was not able to do anything.
His business was doing well, or it was?
His business was not doing well. He was not able to manage. He was totally new.
But you can't help it because you're depressed. You can't help it also because you are completely depressed. You don't want to go back.
I
At that
was,
stage.
Yeah.
I understand. Then came a turning point. What was that?
The turning point again was in 2010. I was awarded the FICCI Women Entrepreneur Award. So that, struck me. I thought there is a call. Like, even when I'm doing nothing, people have recognized what I have done earlier, and I was awarded a most prestigious award. And that was the time slowly I started thinking that I have to get into business at least to support my son. And I couldn't get in fully, but then slowly and steadily I did get back into business.
You could help him, go back and support him, and
like, I was with him, like, teaching him what to do, and I allowed him to learn things.
and he was running a restaurant at that time.
Yeah, that was he had started the restaurant, Sandeepa, that was my daughter's name. It was coined with my daughter's name. And slowly, and we were trying to get it up.
You got involved full time.
Yeah.
Business went up.
Slowly.
What happened? Did you go back to the catering business then?
Yeah, I did, because this business which I was doing was not really going well. So my core competence was industrial catering. So I got into full-fledged corporate catering. And I took up contracts for Infosys, Asindas, DLF, Philips.
All big brands.
All big brands.
You went and you got the business.
Yeah. Like, as I told you, when I get into my kitchen, I'm hands-on. I don't believe in remote operations. And when it is my kitchen, I forget the entire world. It's my passion.
You name again. What are the brands you said? Big brands you said?
Yeah.
Which all brands you serve now?
DLF,
DLF,
Infosys,
Infosys,
Philips.
Philips, all big brands. Which means how many people you might be catering on a daily basis?
I cater to about 3,000, 4,000 people in a day.
3,000 to 4,000 people every day. Every day. You're back on track.
Almost.
How many people you employ?
I have about 150 plus.
150 please. ഓ 150 പേർക്ക് തൊഴിൽ കൊടുക്കുന്ന വനിതാ സംരംഭകയാണ് അദ്ദേഹം. That too as a big comeback after a big blow, mind it. Ma'am, what drives you? What drives you?
I told you, cooking, the clutter of pans. I can never give up my cooking. I mean, people ask me, after 40, 50 years, you still love cooking. I'm always a fresher in my kitchen. I love cooking. That's my passion.
And that drives you.
That keeps me, that's my driving force.
We have Sheila ma'am here. I always quote her saying, നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലെ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ, വിത്ത് യുവർ പെർമിഷൻ മാം, നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലെ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ റിസോഴ്സസ് ഇരിക്കുന്നത് കിച്ചണുകളിലാണെന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം പറയാറുണ്ട്. I think we need this kind of fire, this kind of woman entrepreneurs to come back. ഇതുപോലുള്ള വനിതാ സംരംഭകർ നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലുണ്ടാവണം, നമ്മുടെ നാട്ടിലുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ നിരവധി തിരിച്ചടികൾ ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മാരേജ് ഫെയിലിയർ ആയിരുന്നു. 17 വയസ്സ് തൊട്ട് ഇറ്റ് വാസ് എ ട്രോമ ഫോർ ഹെർ. മറീന ബീച്ചിൽ ഒരു ചെറിയ കിയോസ്ക് ഇട്ടുകൊണ്ട് സ്നാക്സ് വിറ്റ് നടക്കുക. അതിനുശേഷം അതിൽ പിടിച്ചു വന്ന് അദ്ദേഹം നേരെ പോയത് കേറ്ററിംഗ് ബിസിനസ്സിലാണ്. അവിടെ നിന്നുണ്ടായ തിരിച്ചടികളിൽ നിന്ന് അവിടെ നിന്ന് വളർന്ന് സ്വന്തം 2 മക്കളെ പഠിപ്പിച്ച് വലുതാക്കി. മകളുടെ കല്യാണം കഴിഞ്ഞ് 30-ാം ദിവസം ആക്സിഡൻറ്റിൽ ആ കുട്ടികളെ നഷ്ടപ്പെടുക. അതും കാറിൻ്റെ ഡിക്കിയിലിട്ട് കൊണ്ടുവരുന്ന ആ കാഴ്ച കാണേണ്ടി വന്ന ഒരു അമ്മയുടെ ഗതികേട് നമുക്ക് ആലോചിക്കാവുന്നേ ഉള്ളൂ. പക്ഷെ അതുപോലും ആ നാട്ടിലേക്ക് ഒരു ആംബുലൻസ് വാങ്ങിച്ചു കൊടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇന്നും ആ പ്രോബ്ലം അദ്ദേഹം സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുകയാണ്. 6 കൊല്ലം ഡിപ്രഷനിലിരുന്ന് തിരിച്ചു വന്ന ഐ തിങ്ക് പെട്രീഷ്യ മാം ഈസ് എ ഫയർ. ലൈക്ക് സംബഡി സെഡ്, സം വുമൻ ആർ സ്കെയർഡ് ഓഫ് ഫയർ, ബട്ട് സം വുമൻ ആർ സിംപ്ലി ഫയർ. ആൻഡ് ദാറ്റ്സ് വാട്ട് Patricia Narayan is. Ma'am, you inspire all these young people here. They're all aspiring entrepreneurs. I think looking at you, many should decide that they should bring their spouses into business, and you are a role model for many here.
Thank you.
You inspire this audience.
Thank you so
And on behalf of all the audience here, we wish all the best for your endeavor, and especially convey all our regards to your son. Let your business grow. Let your passion continue. May God bless you to serve many customers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.